Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 5 of the Fender Soprano Ukulele Bridge Reattachment. I've temporarily fitted all of the strings. They're not up to tension yet, just, you know, enough tension to keep them straight and taut, but they're not up to pitch, because I wanted to check the action, which is very, very high, and it's because the saddle is very high. You can see also the break angle on the strings there, it's insane. So that saddle has to come down quite a bit. So how do I calculate how much to take it down by? Because obviously it has to be very accurate. Okay, so what I do is find the 12th fret first. I mean, I know where it is, but just to show, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the 12th fret is right here where it joins the body. So that's easy to find. That's the 12th fret there. So what I have to do with a ruler is place the ruler on top of the 12th fret and then measure the height at the bottom of the string. Now ideally for this the action needs to be no more than 2 millimeters above the 12th fret. So if I just measure it now, we've got about 4 millimeters. So we got about 4 millimeters right across the fretboard on all 4 strings. So that's about 2 millimeters too high. So you always measure your action at the 12th fret. That's where you get your proper measurements. So they're 2 millimeters too high, which means that I've got to take the saddle down. Now bear in mind the 12th fret is the middle point between the inside of the nut and the inside of the saddle. The 12th fret is the midway point. So if I've got to take, so if you imagine this is the fulcrum, if you like, so it's got to come down like that. So if I've got to take it down 2 millimeters here, that means at this end I've got to take it down 4 millimeters. Okay, so 4 millimeters at the end is going to be 2 millimeters in the middle from in this case the fulcrum being the nut. So take the saddle down 4 millimeters, that brings the middle down over the 12th fret 2 millimeters. Okay, so I need to loosen the strings, take the saddle out. Let's just put that on the rest. Now I'm hoping I'll be able to get the nut out, the saddle out without having to remove the bridge pins. If I do have to, then I have to, but just save a bit of time if I don't have to. So let's just see if I can get that saddle out. Yeah, I'm going to break the strings if I try that. So I will just pull out the bridge pins. I mean, it'll only take literally seconds anyway, so it's no big deal. Just be careful not to mark the bridge. So I'm going to use my little bridge pin puller to get them out. They are in quite tight, so there we go. That's 1, 2, 3. There's always 1. 4. Okay, so how long did that take to get those out? No big deal. I need to loosen the string just a bit more, just to pull them out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I'm ready to take the saddle out. What did that take? 30, 40 seconds? Okay. So I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but there is already a pencil line drawn on the saddle across here. So that's just to remind me which is the front of the saddle and which way it goes in. But I will, while it's out, I'll just mark, if I can find a pencil. There we go. So I'll just mark which is the actual bottom, and that will be the G, that side, and A, that side. Okay, so again, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but I've marked G at the top and A at the bottom, so I know where that goes. Okay, now before I start to take anything off of this saddle, I just want to make sure it is already kind of straight. And one thing I forgot to mention, this is a bone saddle, okay? Much better than the plastic one that came with it originally, much tougher, and they do transfer the sound a lot better as well. So let me just get my calipers, and so I'm going to measure the depth of the saddle from one end to the other. Let's just give that a bit of a wipe. Just make sure they're closed right up, and you can see it. Oh, it needs to be zeroed. So that's the 0. Okay. Right. So I'm going to measure the depth of the saddle. Let's turn that around. Okay, so at this end we've got in the ballpark of 10 millimeters, 9.92. On the other end, yeah, there's not much in that, 9.9. So I'll just measure all the way across, 9.85. 9.86, 9.83, seems pretty consistent, 9.82, 81, 82. Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty consistent. So it's in the region of 9.8 to 9.9 millimeters. So that's fine, that's giving me a starting point. Okay, now, one way to mark a saddle when you're going to cut it is, first of all, you put just a Sharpie mark at either end, like that, and then, so I want to take off 4 millimeters, okay, so I'll set my calipers to 4 millimeters. 4.27, 408, 4. Okay. Now just lock that down with a little locking nut at the top. Okay, so we've got them set at 401 now. 4 millimeters, and then I just score inside that. We need to put more on there. The Sharpie mark. Okay, so I just put the edge of the calipers on the edge of the saddle and just make a score line. Okay, just make sure that's still at 4, yep. And the same on the other side. Not sure where you can see that. So I'm putting the edge of the calipers on the edge of the saddle and just, oh, that didn't go well. Score. Like that. Okay. So hopefully you can see, probably not, there's a score line just there and just there. So I'll just double check that they are the right depth. That one appears to be 4mm, and that one appears to be 4mm. Well, that's a good start, isn't it? So I've got my 2 score lines here, one at each end, and it does seem quite a lot actually. So I'm not going to take off all of that straight away. I'm going to sneak up on that a little bit. I think that might have slipped a little bit and gone past the 4mm mark. It does look about right. Just double check with the ruler. Where are we? Yeah, it is at 4mm. It just looks too much, so I'm going to sneak up on it, because once I've taken it to that mark, it's not going to be much above the slot, the bridge slot. So I'm going to I'll probably just stick it in my little vise and saw across that line, because I don't have really a more efficient way of doing it at the moment. So that's where I'm going to be, just over there on that little vise. So I'll get it set up in there first. Okay, so I'm going to use a hacksaw, and I'm going to go at least 1mm above that line, just in case it's not quite right. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that down now. Before I go any further, I'm going to score that line right the way across so that I can follow it. Okay, so I've now got the, you really can't see that, but I've got the score line right the way across. I'm going to pause the video while I cut this. It's not very interesting to watch. Okay, so I'll see you in 1 second. Okay, so I've cut the saddle down, and something happened that doesn't happen often. I hit it right on the money first go. So I've put the saddle back in and just got the strings taut for now, and I measure again at the 12th fret, and we've got just a shade over 2mm. Just, actually it's probably, yeah, it's just a, I mean, an unmeasurable fraction above 2mm, so I'm going to leave it at that. Now, what I'm going to do now, so you'll see already that the saddle is much lower than it was, and the brake angle back to the bridge pins is much more favourable. So what I'm going to do is bring the outer 2 strings more or less up to pitch, and then I'm going to check the intonation, because for the time being I've left the top of the saddle flat, but obviously you need a curve on the top, and depending on where the intonation lies at the moment, if the intonation is sharp, okay, I need to bring the edge, the front edge back, so file it back, which will effectively lengthen the strings and should bring the sharpness of the intonation down. If the intonation is flat, that means the strings are too long, so I'll then have to angle the top towards the front to effectively make the strings shorter, and then bringing it closer up to pitch. So let's just go and get me tuner. Give me a second. Okay, so I've got my tuner. Just set it to ukulele, and as I said, just bring the outer two strings more or less up to pitch. That's an E. Just leave it there for now while I bring the other side up. Obviously the strings are going to stretch out along a lot again before they get anywhere near pitch. Ukuleles. Right, we're up to a G. Leave it there for now. Oh, ukuleles, just stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch. Okay, we're coming up to a G now. Okay. That's about an A. Right, that's close enough for now. So, check the intonation. Yeah, it's sharp as I suspected. Yeah, okay, so it's sharp, which is exactly what I expected, which means that I've got to I've got to file the edge to bring basically the leaving edge, which is the front edge. I've got to file an angle this way to bring that back. Okay, so means that I've got to loosen the strings, take out the bridge pins again, take the saddle out again. So that's all I'm doing. Because this is sharp, it is basically saying that the strings are too short. So where they leave the front edge of this saddle here, it's too much that way. So I've got to file an angle to bring that edge back, bring it to almost to the back edge really. Now this takes bloody ages to do. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just filing an angle exaggerating a bit, filing an angle that way to bring the front edge back. That's all I'm doing. So I'm not going to film it because, like I said, it takes ages. It's bloody tedious. It's boring. I hate doing it, but it's got to be done because it's it's currently sharp. And I'll have to do it in stages. I'll just take it back maybe a millimeter or so, put it all back together, try it again. It'll probably still be sharp. Take it back out, do it again, another millimeter, and so on. So it can take quite a long time. So as I said, I'm not going to record it. You're not going to miss anything. It's bloody dull to watch and it's bloody dull to do. So I will bring you back when that is done. Okay, see you in 1 second. Okay, so I've filed that back quite a way actually, and we'll just bring it back up to pitch. Okay, so that's the A. It is still slightly sharp. It's very minimal. Yeah, okay, so I mean that's as far back as I can take that edge anyway, so it's still slightly sharp, but it's only like 2 or 3 cents, so I can live with that and I'm sure the customer can too. So I'm going to take the strings back off again. I'm just going to tidy up the saddle, just make sure it's nice and smooth, hasn't got any sharp edges that might cut the strings, and then I'll string it back up, get it up to tune and see what it sounds like. So more or less finished. So I'll do this again off camera and I'll see you in 1 second. Okay, so I've been doing quite a bit of fettling with this ukulele off camera, and got it more or less up to pitch. Obviously the strings are going to keep stretching, so it does keep dropping out again. So we'll just go through it and check it all. Okay, we got G, C, E, A. Okay, so I'll just check the intonation. Let's just turn that around a bit. That's better. Okay. G. Yeah, about 2 cents sharp, that's all. C. Okay, the C is showing quite a lot sharper, but not much I can do. The C is a much thicker string, so it will tend to go a bit sharper than the others. Yeah, E. Again, about 2 cents sharp. A. A little bit sharp. Okay, so, but as I said, that's as far back as you're not going to be able to see the angle, but the angle is right to the back of that saddle. I'm not going to be able to go back any further than that, so the sopranos don't intonate that well anyway, so to be honest that's as close as it needs to be. It's absolutely fine, so let's just tune it up one more time. What are we doing for time? I've got a couple of minutes. Okay, just a very quick playing demo. Okay, fine. I mean, in my opinion, the sopranos never sound great. It's quite a quiet sounding instrument, this one. But there it is. It's all finished. And I think, personally, the bridge looks really nice on there. I really like it. If the customer doesn't, I'll buy the thing off him. Yeah. So there it is, your Fender soprano ukulele, which had a bridge reattachment and then a bridge reattachment. And as I said, in my opinion, just looks a million times better on there. It does kind of look a little bit overkill, it's a little bit oversized, but it's going to do the job 100 times better than the original bridge. So that is the end of this project. Thank goodness. I'm going to get back on with the CBGs, the cigar box guitars, next, but that's what is today? Wednesday? Something like that. So I'm probably not going to start that now until next Monday, my day off. But that project's going to get back on track now. So I've started one of them, as some of you will know, and I'm going to make 3, hopefully. So we'll see how that goes. So once again, if you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up, a comment, share, yada yada yada, and look after yourselves and each other. Peace out.